Hey all, I thought I'd keep my silver beard for this video to show you some Gandalf style photo wizardry. Anyway, here is a photo from my Fuji GFX 100S. It's a 100 megapixel camera with 16-bit of colour. So as you can see here, you can really punch in on the detail. The beauty of this camera is you can quite often make two photos out of one. You can have like a full body portrait, but then you can make a separate portrait of just the face. But anyhow, I thought I'd give you a walkthrough of my editing process. So what I usually do with these Fuji files, at least recently, is I'd start with the color profile, go to browse, and add the Fuji specific Astia Soft. I really like this profile. It sort of adds vibrance, but in kind of a soft way without over contrasting things. So I would make that my starting point. Maybe do some basic adjustments, add a little bit in the whites, highlights, lift the shadows a small amount, and then I would edit this in Evoto, which is an AI photo skin retouching software. I used to do all the retouching manually in Photoshop, but the new sort of AI software does a really good job in a fraction of the time. What once took you 30 minutes, you can do in 3 to 5 in Evoto, and it's the same sort of standard. I'm not a fan of creating like fake environments in AI, but just as assistive to like clean up the skin, it just gets a bit monotonous doing it manually. So, right, we're in Evoto now, and I'll show you the power of this software. So I'd first start here with, say, the freckles and acne slider. And then if we go here to the dark circles and eye bags, just to soften that little bit here. I'll push it a little bit more, maybe not completely remove it. But let's do this dark circles there as well. And then what should we do next? We'll move on to body blemishes, neck wrinkles. There isn't really any, but we'll just add it anyway, just in case there's a tiny bit. Scroll down. Skin retouching, you've got even dodge and burn, which will just use like adjust the light to balance out the face. So there's no crazy light patches, but then you can sculpt with dodge and burn to give it a bit more like 3D definition. So we just pull that slider up. And if I click this button now, you'll see already there's some nice subtle adjustments just to give the skin a bit of polish. Next we'll go on to, might as well add a little bit of textured smoothing and skin softening. Alicia's only 20, so she's got nice skin to begin with, so we don't really need to do much there at all. Then under the skin texture, I tend to use satin, which just adds a bit of highlight here. Again, adds a like 3D dimension to the face. There is dewy, which gives a more glossy effect, but I find that a little bit too aggressive and I don't want to move far away from the original photo. It's just like a nice soft enhancement. Right, here we got AI Skin Unity, which will just even out the skin tones in the face and body if there's sort of like some real different colour. There's not really here, but we'll just do it to add a little bit of more improvement. But yeah, it's quite subtle. We'll do that on the body as well. And my favourite is to always make the eyes pop, but not pop to the point that it looks fake, just a little bit of brightness there. And you can add a bit of iris flare as well, but you've got to be careful on the whites, because if the whites look too high it can look really fake. So red vein removal, as you get older you tend to have more visible red veins, but there's not really any in this one, the beauty of being young. And I tend to not do too much in the makeup area because I want it to be as close to the original as possible, but with gentle enhancements. But you can actually literally apply makeup, but we won't do that. On the lips we'll just add a little bit of saturation, a little bit of brightness, and a little bit more dimensionality. Just makes them a little bit more, I don't know if luscious is the right word, but we use that. And yeah, it's got a teeth option. Naturally, where's the teeth there? Teeth. You can say teeth flaws removed. There's no visible flaws. Teeth whitening, don't really need it. We'll just add a smidgen. But yeah, if we click this now on the before and after, before, after, just makes it a bit more radiant looking and just generally more pleasing. It's nice to begin with anyway. So now that I've done that, I'll export that and add it back to Lightroom. If anything, I might have pushed the sliders a little bit too far on this video, but sometimes it doesn't come across on video quite as well as actually seeing it in front of the laptop. So we'll stick with this for now. Right, and I just skipped that. So let's do pre-edits. And we'll go to this new one. Just make sure that's the right one. There we go. We'll drop that onto Lightroom and re-import. So we're good to go. Just the final adjustments. I might add a teeny bit more exposure. I do like portraits to pop. Colour represents joy, so always go for vibrance if the mood suits. Obviously you wouldn't do that if it was pictures for a funeral or some kind of sad story, but in this case it's all in the woods, vibrant, out in the sun. It's a happy moment, so we want to project that with the colour. So here I'd add a S-curve, so this top one is the highlights, so we'll bring that up, and then the bottom one we'll just pull down a little bit to have the contrast back. You can soften the darkest black to make it more like a dark grey here if you want, by pulling that up. That looks too matte for me, but I do it sometimes, but I think in this case I'll leave it 100% black and then just use these sliders to pull the black up a little bit. Add a little bit more in the whites. We pull the highlights down a little bit. It's already quite vibrant, but you could add a little bit more vibrance if you really want it to scream at you in colour. But that looks quite lovely to begin with, so, or to end with, should we say? What? There's something. Maybe the vibrance will bring back actually. Highlights bring back up a little bit more. Right, let's leave it there. No, actually, I'm going to bring the blacks down. Now let's leave it. But yeah, if you see, so you've got the nice full body shot, but you could then crop right in, and if you see there's loads of texture still, eyes are nice and sharp. And if I was to crop that, it's just a facial portrait, I'd probably just use the heel brush and just remove a couple of these tiny little spots here. Maybe a tiny little one there. No. Let's turn that off so that looks. Right, there we go. So that'll do for this video. A quick rundown though, I used Evoto AI, which I'm using at the moment because I bought credits for it, but it works at like 7p a photo, but you have to buy like 800 credits at once. Might be lesser options, can't really remember. But I've also done a couple of collabs with other retouching software. There's one called Retouch for Me, which is a plugin for Photoshop, which works almost just as well. And there's one called Apathy, which you can just buy the software rather than the credit approach, and that runs offline. And that's really good as well. I might even move over to that once the credits have gone on Evoto. I'll see. But I'll link videos to those, well, the introduction on them software at the end, But yeah, if you like my content and would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you soon.